is banned the Quap, like Liquid will again be more than happy to chain all these different lane potentials for the Razor. Like you said,
the one difference though is their first pick. So Secret does get to see some more information down the stretch, which eliminates some of that extra value they have. And the upside is Razor IO versus Bane opener. There's no grip cancel right off the bat.
That's true.
And Bane can do extremely well versus Razor matchup if he's just allowed to grip him when he runs in with BKB. We're talking about the BKB peers, creating that gap for your coursers to be able to right click him down. It can be a better matchup for Bane than the Beastmaster, so I understand the bans there. But again, haven't seen this Razor dealt with to the degree that teams are investing in trying to deal with him. So it'll be interesting to see if Puppy has some more tricks up his electric sleeve.
And Queen of Pain banned out, so that's not indeed an option anymore.
We have seen, at least against, I think it's been against Spearbreaker and Razor, but Shadow Demon does seem like a good solution though, just because Demonic Purge slowing through BKB seems to be pretty value against Razor.
Can do decent. I think it's some similar vein to Bane, right? You have a BKB Pierce ult, you throw it on him.
Yeah.
You don't have to channel it. There's some upside there. We'll see. I haven't seen YapzOr play that hero a lot historically. So I don't know if it's in Secret's wheelhouse, but they already have this Mars. Mars is one of the few melee heroes that I think can do okay in lane versus Razor, depending on the support matchups, just because he has the spear push back to break the link, and this hero is just a beast of a laner in terms of creating those strong dual lanes. We've seen Snap Mars, Phoenix Mars in the past, something like this. Coddle Mars, get that blinding light going. Probably pretty low probability, but the Secret bans the Nyx, which is interesting because it's a hero that they have relied on a lot, I feel.
There's the YapzOr hero, I would assume. And
Yeah,
they have
100%.
the Bane Nightmare set up into Arrow. Okay.
Spare into arrows as well.
Yeah.
Can't link a Mirana.
Cannot.
Also true.
Maybe it'll be Sumail mid Mirana. They're getting some flex out of it.
I don't know if we're ready for that quite
Take
yet.
me back to the days of glory.
If maybe they had like a Beastmaster or like an Ogre, some attack speed buffs to make the crit build viable with the shard.
Maybe it's coming. Drow Ranger on last pick.
Ooh.
Give him that agi.
All right. No.
We could be getting some spice here.
This is really a game to experiment, though.
I think once again, Zai's going to be sat with the Razor. There are already too many answers. It's just like, well, Link is just going to be a bonus. It's not going to be what we're going to build our entire draft around. So, yet again, we're going to be looking for IO pairings, which against a Mars Murano lane, who would you +1 with that?
I think it's more likely Liquid takes their mid in this phase than carry, so they can just hold the Razor on the side lanes. But
they don't get last pick anyway.
Yeah, so it's tough. I think there's competing arguments for taking a mid or a carry here, or even an off lane, or maybe off lane is just the most robust. I mean, you can make an argument for any of these because technically you're still holding the other two, right?
I think seeing as how Sumail has consistently outlaned Mickey, I would prefer to save Mickey for the end as opposed to Matu. But I don't really know if they also, like, who's going to win the game? Is it going to be Matu or is it going to be Mickey? So if they are more intent on making sure that Matu have a good game, then yeah, save it for the last phase.
And they're using a lot of time.
You just jam the Ursa here.
We keep suggesting Ursa, and it just never gets picked.
Yeah, it never does.
Teams are just not hot on it. I don't get it. Is Monkey King still in?
Monkey is always first phase banned, or Secret, or it's going to get taken.
Line tied.
They go the offlane route, get the team fight to back up this IO lineup, get some stuns for your first two that don't have any, right? Grip cancel, we're talking about it, is a nice way to do it. It's also a hero that Mars hates team fighting into, just because you want to jump a Tide Hunter and Spear when you know he's going to get the guaranteed Kraken and then counter initiate on you. Can be pretty tough. So I like that route. Keep the Razor open.
It does minimize some of the flex potential on the Razor though, because now you know it probably won't be Zai, and it's either mid or safe lane now.
Templar Assassin.
Yeah, and I don't remember the last time I've seen a mid TA. I feel like it's always safe lane these days.
You think it's mid?
You think it's mid?
No, I don't think.
I think it's
you
safe
think
lane.
it's mid.
No. I think it's safe lane.
I think it's a decent chance. I think this hero with the meld on Tide Hunter is just going to destroy him. It's a pretty nice matchup.
Yeah.
You just get that refraction going. You get to the traps later. Really nice way that Secret can now just go in the Roche pit and contest it off of pretty much any kill. It rounds out their lineup, the high physical burst. I like the pick. It's also a hero that can naturally build that Pike versus Razor and it doesn't super debilitate her build.
That's true.
Later on. So there's potentially some nice interactions there. And of course, Sumail, he was playing this hero on both lanes for OG.
Yeah.
So Secret gets some extra flex going into their very last pick, which is always nice, because then you have the freedom to respond kind of in any way you want. You don't feel like you're pigeonholed in, oh, we need some physical, we need some Roshan. Puppy's a captain who always likes to be able to go in that Roche pit and clear it up pretty fast and early if they're snowballing.
They ban out the Bat Rider. I wonder if that means that they are trying to send the TA mid, or if that's just a bait.
They also maybe just don't want to get stuck in this Bat Razor Kengo mid, like weird lane shenanigans. I don't know, but it's probably just for the TA mid option.
Yeah. So then I guess I'm looking for a niche here, because Liquid banned out Invoker, and they ban out Alina, so...
They're keeping their options open. Overall pick goes the way of Team Secret, so they can decide after they see what Liquid has put on the table as their 5th pick.
I think Liquid's looking at Leshrac. I think it could do really well with the IO. Gives them a hero that can help take one of these early objectives and help scale along with the Razor. And it can be a really nice matchup in mid versus TA. You can play around it in Snowball. It's also a classic Mickey hero. If we're talking about he doesn't want to go mid with the Razor. Like, you're going to blind pick a mid here, because it's pretty unlikely that Secret sends his TA mid versus Razor. We saw that was one of the matchups that TA actually struggled a lot against in some of the recent patches, going back to TI, in terms of, you think Viper, Razor, Bat Rider were like the big 3.
Yeah.
So it's pretty likely Secret's just looking to try and get a mid, so you need a pretty robust mid.
Insta-pick them.
Puck's another pretty robust mid.
Yeah.
Insta-pick for Team Secret as well, as they go for another Spirit.
Okay, so safe lane TA, and up against the off lane Side Hunter.
Yeah, so no crazy lane shenanigans. I think Secret's pretty happy with those last 2 picks, in a sense of they know what lanes they were going to get. They got them matched up. Round out their lineup with a nice Spirit who can help initiate for them. This can be a super nice lane for Void Spirit if you're able to play it really well. So I'm interested to see if Sumail continues his streak of, as you said, Tsunami quote,
Mash
dumpstering.
Okay, we're advancing it even more. Bring some NA lexicon into it. I think that Ice is really going to have his work cut out for him this game on the Mars, because overall, Secret's lineup is squish. Your cores being a TA and a Void Spirit do not, like, they'll be able to go in, but they need Mars to create a lot of distraction. And Ice's performance on the Beastmaster last game felt so static that I'm a little bit discouraged.
Don't be discouraged.
Okay, fine. I'll go Secret.
I mean, that if Secret wins, everybody wins. It's part of Team Liquid, right? Because then we get a 3rd game. So that wouldn't be
exactly
a bad thing. At least not from our perspective.
Everybody
fans are like, wait.
It's not like I definitely have a flight to catch in like 12 hours.
It's all good. It's all good. Looking forward to seeing what Game 2 brings, that's for sure, together with Moxie and Jenkins.
You know that game has gone sideways when SPG is one who is being encouraged. I'm sorry. All right. So yeah, we have Ice on that Mars. He's got to be a lot more aggressive, active. They've got to play around him. But then on the flip side, with what Team Liquid is bringing here, it's a solid draft. Like, they've got very good team fight. They've got that sustain coming out from IO with Poke. So how do things have to go here to convince us that Secret can do this? Besides Avery just saying, don't lose hope.
You know, I feel like neither side really has a draft advantage, which makes sense when you have 2 very experienced captains on both sides. There's timings for each team. Like, I think that Mirana's definitely an underrated hero. You've got some really nice combos with her. You have Vayne plus Mirana. You have Mars plus Mirana, and you Void Spirit plus Mirana, where you're going to Yules into Remnant and then set up the arrow. There are 3 heroes in 3 different lanes that he can play with on Mirana. So it's a god tier Mirana game. High win rate hero, and I think it's quite underrated. There's the Nightmare setup.
It's a good setup into the arrow. And that should be a dead Insania.
First blood. Now
Yep, does commit to the Nightmare, but, you know, naturally with Ana, that's typically what you're going to do.
I think you're okay with that. Like,
first blood?
generally, yeah.
And they get it for Sumail too. So if last game went his way in the laning phase, with First Blood and basically a bottle in his inventory, he's going to be doing very well. He actually opts for the stick instead.
I think I think this time around, right, like we saw Mickey pick up that puck, and it was just like almost an insta-pick coming out from Secret. They're like, okay, we're going to get this Void Spirit. He knows exactly how he wants to play this. He feels confident playing against Mickey, so I think that this mid lane should go pretty well for him again.
Yeah, this is a weird matchup.
You know, who he is, right? Mickey, not a bad mid laner by any means, but I would say Sumail definitely, you know, has that
it's
reputation.
Like one of the only guys that Mickey doesn't have the edge against, because Mickey currently is like rank 4 in EU or something, and it's just that Sumail, like his laning prowess is just unmatched.
Well, they're mad about that first blood, so this time around they're going to just try to punish Puppy here, and Insania will get his revenge.
Cool. Okay, I was thinking that they might do this. They put the Razor against TA because in mid lane counter matchup, so why not do it in a side lane? This results in the aggro trianing, and then it goes Zai down here on a Watermelon, who you're not going to be able to arrow combo him because he has Kraken Shell. So it's actually a really good tide game to 1v2.
Yeah, and usually, you know, this lane very scary, right? Because you've got the spear into arrow or what have you. But
never mind. They're too many.
I mean, they went for the first blood, right? Or, well, not first blood at that point, but to help kind of secure the lane, make sure that everyone gets off to a nice start. I'm sure they would have preferred to have it over on Ma too, but Ice is taking so much damage. It does get the spear away, but they've got the clicks. That is a rough start here for him, as they also have, you know, lots of damage here, and Sable over here coming out from Boxy. So that's just a horrible way to start this bottom lane for Secret.
Yeah, Liquid just with the excellent lane rotations at the start, starting in that tri-lane, unexpected, and then rotating towards bot, going for that double kill.
Yeah, having the level 2 on Boxy really, you know, made things happen.
Yeah, and Mirana not being level 2, it's like the hero's very difficult to kill, even with a Lion who has decent stuns.
An easy target.
Unless she's level 1. Then you can kill her. So
yeah, she had already used the arrow too. You saw that she had gone for the range creep, perhaps not expecting that sort of aggression.
Yeah, now YapzOr's trying desperately to get level 2. This situation Mirana really sucks. You can lose a lot of lane advantage stuck at level 1. Gotta soak some XP. Oh man, Zai is so close to his helm already. He's fucking
scary. Latu sapping a lot of this damage off Nisha here. Gonna continue to get some of those right clicks off over on the creeps.
So in the mid lane, the way that TA can often do fine against Razor is maxing Meld, and that's what he's doing in the side lane because the damage can't. That bonus damage from Meld lets you get some last hits.
It lasts so long too, like, it's actually ridiculous how long the Meld Strike lasts for the debuff.
Not exactly panning out for him in the side lane because you don't have the levels, you don't have the tower that you can run into, although this bit of a creep wave is nicely positioned. Still only 10-1 to the 14-5 of Matumba.
Thanks.
Who's got his full boots on Matumba. So he's...
Could be hard to get away from.
Yeah, the lane equilibrium's really good too.
And just sapping here from Nisha. I'm gonna turn around, put that damage right back on Puppy. Does have the brain sap though, so he's gonna be able to get a little bit of that trade off, but we'll just turn the sleep over to Insania and just be about the business.
And Sumail, as expected, given the fact that he got this first blood, is doing exceptionally well mid.
Yeah, and he knew what he was getting into, right? You saw how fast they picked up the Void Spirit, so he felt very, very comfortable. So it makes sense. 26-5 over on the Void Spirit, 18-1 over on the Puck.
Yeah, this is another one of those matchups that, as time has progressed, mid laners have considered it as like either way. At first, Puck was considered to be like the best Void Spirit hard counter because he's so elusive and you can coil him and you've got silence for him as well.
Yeah, but then hard to lock him down.
But then it turned out to be really hard to lock down a Puck as well. And Void Spirit with the Yule Scepter can instantly lock down Puck and jump the Puck whenever he's pushing in a side lane.
Nice little deny here from Boxy. One of those leap charges to try to get the final hit. But yeah, Zai has just had such a nice lane. 2 kills at the bottom lane. Only 1 kill and then the 1 assist, but he is just accelerating so nicely. Mirana barely reaching that level 3 now. Still sitting at 2. Definitely having problems in this lane.
This looking like a big boy Titan game. He's gonna be that frontliner. It's so hard to deal with. You get if you feel somewhat like a Timber Saw, or you're just borderline unkillable. Oh, this is one of the few heroes in the game that can tear through Tidehunter's armor because the Kraken Shell is damage block, and damage block does not work nicely against these huge damage instances. It's calculated based on the total amount, so.
A sign to heed.
You see some movement though coming over into this mid lane.
My gratitude.
They're hoping to possibly make some moves, try to protect one another as well. Puck having the level 6 obviously is a big deal. Level 6 over on Smail too if they can find this opening. Boxy creeping forward though. Give that rune coming up. Smail, they'll open up with the Hex. Follow up with a Spike. And they'll use the Dream Coil. They do have the Marauder nearby. Will end up landing over onto Mickey. They've got the Starstorm, live with the Silence. Mickey, though, not looking so healthy. So now Boxy has to run away. They'll step forward. Another step over onto Boxy. It's still late. Oh, is he going to be able to go? And oh, the follow-up, though, here from Insania. Can they turn this back around? He wants this kill, but he just isn't looking like, no, maybe he will, though. Picks up the rune, trying to go through, get some of that region, trying to cut off Boxy here. Insania will tether back over to Mickey, though. Uh-oh, it's not quite what they wanted to plan. Boxy throwing out the Hex, just poking at Smail. Taking a decent amount of damage, a step forward. Mickey is here, though. He's gonna drag him underneath the tower. And they'll get the kill on Smail, just barely. And they dropped the Purge voice line. Purge is gonna be so excited.
Yeah, that was interesting from Smail. I think he felt like he was a little bit in over his head there, so he's like, I'm gonna go for the kill and then just die. Great kiting from Liquid. Insania with the save, that really turned that around, and I was thinking that neither team really had enough damage to kill either of the two mid laners there between the heroes, but if you take the fight that long, you're getting multiple rounds of spells off, then killing Smail is actually possible.
Dragon, Yapster was trying to get into position, it looked like, for an arrow, but creeps being in the way will prevent that.
Yeah, that's a hard hero to hit because the Ether Remnant connecting onto Mickey is already going to be difficult, and it's not a long stun duration. Full one, not long enough to set up for an arrow. Only 1.4 pull duration. Was buffed relatively recently.
We'll get the arrow set up, though, for Insania. Very nicely done. So that'll be a pick off on the IO. Although Matu is going to go for that link. Pops the Eye of the Storm. Puppy realizing he doesn't have anything to cancel it out just yet. So he's going to be able to walk away. Well, teleport away, rather.
Okay, so this leaves Matu free to push the top tower and taking that.
Dream used. Box following up here, throwing out the stun, and with that orb, they'll be able to punish Yapsor for being around the double down. He should need to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, he's high-fiving, but
he's being a bit cheeky, but yeah, now to go for he's gonna high-five the tower. In comes Boxy, though. Going to see if they can find it. Oh, the Spirit's connecting from Insania. It'll be the teleport coming out, though. Ice. They're all grouped up. They do have to be careful. Yapsor in position. Matu's already left.
Oh, Boxy.
Immediately with the Hex. Beautiful Earth Spike, but they have the stuns. So,
all right. 4
heroes, though, here up in this top lane, and all they get is a support.
That was about to be devastating for Liquid. Like, Ice, if he ults there, he probably gets Insania and Matumba, and Matumba's the big kill. And so Boxy sacking himself there in order to get that stun off is so important. It's 4 heroes stuck top. Oh, just kidding.
Look at the way, yeah, they still managed to go and find themselves 2 of them. The arrow is going to connect over onto Matu. They'll get Insania, and they'll be able to get Matu as well. So a very useful arena coming out from Ice. I think he's glad that he held on to it because they still ended up getting the kill on Boxy, and then they also managed to get themselves a kill on 2 more on the side of Liquid.
Yeah, all set up by this early ward in the Radiant Triangle. That's how they knew where Insania and Matumba were farming. That's how they could make that play. So whoever set that up, it's a Rubik ward, so I would assume it was Yapsor.
Double damage.
Mickey activating the double damage, though. It's like perhaps he wants to make the jump over onto Smail, and they do have the Lion nearby. That's more lockdown on a hero that's very elusive. But he's going to click away on the tower, clear up the creep wave a little bit.
Yeah, with the DD, there's definitely enough damage to kill basically any hero, maybe barring Ice.
There's a lot of rotation here. Mickey sidestepping, though. And see that Yapster's going to pull them away, and the Tidehunter making his way over, too. It's a nice place. So they're going to bait a little bit with the puck. Foxy finding the Mirana. Zip forward here. Snaps the coil with the leap. Yeah, Sir's gonna get clicked down. Now you don't have to worry about that arrow flying at your face or those Starstorm.
That's a strange interaction, that you can't leap while coiled, but if you get coiled while leaping, it can just insta-break the coil, essentially killing you. So, nice catch from Mickey. This is on a catapult wave too, so they can look to maybe get some chip damage. No, Zai's walking away. Too many heroes.
It's a lot of pressure though, right? Like,
Yep.
it made other heroes rotate over into that mid lane. And that's what you want to do with the Tidehunter. You want to have this Tidehunter show up, and you either have to fight or you have to just concede. And in this case, you know, he put the pressure on, they decide to fight, they got themselves a kill, I think they're happy with that.
Yep.
And now Zai can just go back to the bottom lane and continue farming up.
Yeah, they're waiting for the blink tide timing. They also have Witchblade on Mickey that they're going to be getting. This ice.
Oh boy, that Foxy.
Okay.
Foxy's gonna run into everyone here. So Puppy's on a killing spree, not something you typically hear.
I was going to say probably not worth the arena. That's why he doesn't use it. But then also he's got these two supports that are coming up, and Bane Mirana is basically a guaranteed kill, so why not take it? Okay, though, constantly pressuring. This, it's funny, you wouldn't expect this from a Puck, but like this is how Puck has been for the last few patches, where you do kind of sit mid until you get the Witchblade, and then you're this actually strong mid to late game hero. You play more for the late game than before, where you would just rotate super early. It's more about counter rotations.
I like the way they're playing this too, right? So like, Secret has several parked over in this mid lane. You've got the Mirana, you've got the Bane generally, so they can set up if they, you know, step out of place. But on the flip side of it, because the Puck is playing so aggressively, they're figuring someone might jump on him. And if that's the case, keep Bhakti nearby. Punish them. Make sure that any initiation that they make is immediately countered. And I like that sort of play. Top lane though, rotation's coming out. They want to take this tower. Sai still has the arena. He's going to try to drain some of that damage. He's going to get held in place, but the follow-up here from Mickey. Jumps forward, they'll find the kill on Insania, so they won't have that extra regen. Follow up with the Dream Coil finger play coming up from Foxy. They'll be able to go take out Ice, and they'll follow up, get a kill on Puppy. But the rest of Secret is here. Sumail stepping onto the back lines. He wants his kill over onto Matu, and he gets the direct. They'll find the kill on the Razor. They'll get Foxy as well. And now Puck having to run away.
I'm surprised that didn't go better for Liquid, considering that hit was what,
It was a big Ravage
That was
too, on top of everything else.
That was at least a 4-man Ravage. I didn't quite see if Sumail got caught by it, but that was a 4. Yeah, I think Sumail's a little bit off screen here for the Ravage. But I think the instant link breaking on Razor is important.
Yes.
That's a huge amount of damage that's mitigated.
Puck out.
Yeah, that what a Ravage right around the too.
It
Like
was
max
perfectly
range
set
Ravage.
up.
Yeah.
As well. Like Mickey had a great angle, but just like you said, that link not taking effect.
There's just no damage. It's all like small sources of damage. You have the burst of Lion. That's your 5 position though. While he's 4 position this game, 4.5 with an IO.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get that link off. That's a big source of damage. You don't have the Witchblade on Puck yet, so Puck is just doing this burst, which, of course, you have TA with Refraction. It's not going to be super effective against her until you have the Witchblade, which he almost has.
Oh, the setup here. Oh, all right, they're going to back off for
Yeah,
now.
it doesn't have the Remnant, and Yapsor wasn't exactly in position to hit that off of the Yules.
You know, it's funny because we just said how Liquid is making them play into them. But that whole engagement was definitely getting very aggressive and greedy. A little bit aggressive and greedy, you know, down here, Puppy, trying to get some warding done. He's got to pay for that.
Dewarding that cliff, I can understand that. Basically every single replay that I've watched from Insania, he's got a ward on that cliff at about this point. They really value the cliff wards and can't play the cliff wards in their own jungle whenever they are leaving and playing elsewhere. I see why Puppy went for that. I think he might have been trying to ward himself too.
Probably. Do you think that that was the right call to try to force that fight in the top lane, though, I guess is my question. Is it just because of the fact that Matu's link didn't end up?
I think it's a decent call. I think it's a fine call because you lost the bottom tower and you know that you're getting out farmed, you want to be able to farm these jungle camps, which is only enabled by having that tower. And within IO, it's even more important that you have the side lanes opened up, because the hero relocates from, you want to relocate from far away rather than close, because then you can consume the map. So yeah, I think it does make sense. Perhaps there could be like a smoke to it, it could be better executed, but I think some play to that top tower is absolutely right. They had the Ravage. I'm pretty
It's a good Ravage too. And speaking of good Ravages too, in the mid lane with the Dune Coil, make sure that Smail cannot escape. Although the false good Hex coming out from Foxy. Can they lock him down for long enough here? So get that Hex over, and they'll be able to drain a bunch of this damage this time around. Matsu's going to be able to do some clicking. They do manage to stun up over onto the Puck. So Puck can't just zip away, but jumping forward again, has his eyes on Poppy. The Fiend's going to cut us off. They have enough damage. Will be able to take down Mickey. They'll pop, with that spear over onto Matu. He's sitting so low. They're going to have to back off on the side of Liquid. Everyone's HP needing a little bit of time here, especially for this Razor, before they could go back in. Foxy?
He does still have finger on Boxy, so he's feeling feisty. But now his Razor's
all 5 are up though.
Yeah, Ice was almost in finger range in that fight, but with the armlet toggle, he wasn't exactly, and now he's got a regen rune, so he's fine.
Zai just throwing his body between him and the tower. Is going to get healed up by Io. Trying to just push them off at this mid tower. Got the anger smash and Zai already gone and used that arena. Get a nice hex off, take a little bit of the tower damage, plus a gush. Again, there is a trap there, so a nightmare placed over here by Puppy, but they have the silence. He's got the armlet toggles though. It's going to be kind of hard unless they can get the burst damage off. There it is, a finger. And Zai. Ensure that Ice can't walk away.
Yeah, good patience with the finger there. If he uses that and it gets nightmared, or he uses it on the end of an armlet toggle, it's just wasted. And I think that Ice just walks away and you feel really bad, but very patient with it. Waits until there's an auto attack flying, so the toggle would have been like borderline impossible.
And a lot of good button pushing. And a lot of good patience coming out from both sides here. Knowing when to execute and when not to. Nisha creeping forward though. Throwing off that blink on Zai. Just blinks away. Casually continues to farm up the jungle. And very tanky. He's got Matu and Insania nearby. So if they try to make any plays, they're going to have to bring enough heroes to deal with all this early aggression.
Yeah, Ravage is up pretty soon, despite like the start of that whole engagement happening with a Ravage, essentially. This mid fight has been going back and forth for so long because both teams just don't want to give up their mid tower. Both teams are super happy farming their triangle, taking those ancients. Foxy's very close to his blink.
He has been getting it in fairly good timing in each game that he plays Lion.
They have to relocate for bot. If he does get a setup here on Ice, if Ice continues one more wave, there's no finger, so it's a little spooky. Got a lot of HP on Mars.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary, perhaps, right? Like, he's getting enough out of this area. He's able to set up some of that XP.
Yeah, he's definitely chilling. Like, if you're Lion and you're farming Blink, it's like, all right, guys, maybe this is the one time that I don't want to make a play.
Yeah. Unless he happens to stumble into him and he's very low. You know, maybe.
Yeah, he
make the call.
He's got the big Philly, too, on Boxy, so... Do we have a Philly on the other side, too?
Fog's favorite item. We just got it now.
Oh, we do. A Philly on both sides. Okay. There is balance in Dota.
Balance in all things.
Yeah.
This is so, like, I understand why they're in position, right? This is so important. Although they go the jump forward here, followed up from Zai. Be able to go land the arrow, and you can see the teleports coming out immediately. They want to try to punish it. They only managed to go and grab Zai. Follow up that little bit more damage. No, it's going to be enough to take down the Tide Hunter. A nice TP rotation here. There is no Tide to have to worry about. This tower could easily be taken by the side of Secret, and they've got Deso online now, so Nisha should be able to take it very, very easily, clean up the wave, and then go back to whatever business he wants to do.
Now, another thing that this opens up is Roshan. Zai has no buyback, but when he is alive, there is a Ravage, and the question is, can they take this in 20 seconds? It's pretty early.
They have a Deso and they have Melt Strike. I mean, that's...
There's some stalling potential, though.
True. The spirits getting tossed in, trying to...
Puck orbs as well, not bad.
Yep. They do back off. Oh, they find Boxy. Boxy, though, trying to get to position. He's going to end up falling for this. And they do manage to take down the Bane, but now Mickey's in a little bit of trouble here. Monty turning back around, draining away over onto Nisha. The buyback coming out. Puppy. chasing after Sumail. They need the lockdown. Zai is here. Oh, nice waning rift though. Just stuck over the corner. They managed to go and click down some. That is the blink dagger now completed for Lion. He's got to be pretty happy about that. That's a little bit slower than average, but they managed to hold the Roshan. They've got Zai back up and kicking. He's got the Ravage. It's going to be scary for them to try to go up against this. Don't have that arena over on the Mars anymore for another 7 seconds. They should be able to get enough click damage off on the tower to equal out these lanes.
Yeah, they held the Ravage for this whole time. That's the big there where Secret, there's nothing that they can do to defend that. Obviously, you don't want to fight without Sumail, but there's some potential for stalling, backline jumps, whatever, if there's no Ravage. But Zai, he didn't use it before he died. He understood that, like, okay, well, I'm dead. But the more important cooldown over a death timer is Ravage, for sure. Like, you'd rather not just waste that ability.
We have a very important item completed now for Show. We have the BKB online for TA.
And he disassembled the Dragon Lance, so opting to really value this next timing, that they know that they're going to fight within the next few minutes, because otherwise he would just, you know, save. He would just save for the strength component.
Wanting to take advantage of that early momentum that his team can bring here. Oh my god. I didn't realize that Zai has complete bag scepter.
Well, okay, to be fair, other people buy like Hood and then Blink and then Active Scepter. So.
True, but he obviously values this, so they walk right into the pit. Mekke's gonna make the call, get back.
Yeah, not the fastest at taking Roche on these heroes. They need to get a kill first, and they can do it. They have a Ravage.
And they're gonna smoke up and see if they can get the jump here. Nisha over in the mid lane. Gonna play the bait as the rest of the team is smoked up behind them. Jump forward here from Foxy. The follow-up with the Ravage, but the BKB play comes out. They want to just burst down Nisha, but he's got his own BKB. Yapso jumping into the middle. They want to try to get Insania, but they're not gonna be able to. They just Fiend Script Matu over onto the backline side. He's all alone now. He's just trying to run away from all of these heroes, and he's tanky. Does get taunted back in, but there's just so much damage. He's surviving for quite a while, throwing out the gush. So it'll be the Yules coming into play here, and eventually they'll be able to take out Zai. Secret with the counter initiation. I don't think that Liquid was expecting that at all. Look at this.
So Ice placed his arena so that it blocked off everybody from the TA. So Matumba obviously can just walk right through it, but then he just dies to the grip. These other heroes are on the low ground. I mean, also the Nightmare save from Puppey there is what lets Nisha get off his BKB, and then sure, he gets sucked, but he has so much damage just from the Melt Strike. He's able to turn around and kill Matumba with the Fiend's Grip as well. Of course, that damage pierces BKB.
Nisha seems very happy about that.
It was a great bait, and good faith in his team that they would be able to counter-initiate too. Like, if Ice doesn't press his BKB in time there and he can't put the arena blocking like that, they just lose the fight.
Jump forward over onto Puppey. This time doesn't have too much to save him, so he'll end up falling, but it's only a consolation prize because they've already got the Aegis online here for TA. Liquid will have to be happy with that for now, but there are bigger challenges up ahead.
You know, this TA Razor matchup, it's one of those ones that, like, people are usually on either side where they think it like really goes in favor of TA, really goes in favor of Razor, but it really does seem like it depends a lot on initiation, who goes on who's got the better supporting cast, because heroes that deal really well with Razor are ones that instantly kill him before you can do a huge damage drain. And TA obviously is amazing at doing that, given the right circumstances in the team fight. But on the flip side, TA also is a large damage source right-click hero, so if you do get drained, then you can just kill the TA, and Razor can also peel through the refraction charges. So initiation is key in both of these games, and counter initiation too. Like Secret with the Nightmare save in that fight was super important.
It's a lot of fun to watch these two teams duke it out, honestly. And just see, these advantages that we might not necessarily consider, especially on such top-tier players.
And Yapsor has his Vessel. I was thinking maybe a Yules, just so you can, Yules the Tidehunter, set up on these heroes in the side lanes. But he's opting to go for a 4-stat, so committing even more to the counter initiation.
little bit of a nightmare here from Puppies. Ice, get into position. I'll pin him over to the wall. That's so much damage. He used to be so tanky. What happened? Nice, a quick pick off here for the side of Team Secret.
You know, one thing that actually makes Mars pretty solid against Tidehunter is what we just saw there, where you put the arena down in such a way that it's like, okay, so he's purging your stuns, right? But he still can't walk out of arena.
Yeah.
So it's effectively a hard disable against a hero that is otherwise very difficult to hard disable.
I forget who said this. One of the analysts said this a while back, but they basically said, you know, arrow flipping over onto Boxy here, so I'll punish him for being that deep into the woods alone. But someone said that the Mars Arena is very similar to the idea of a Doom, right? Because it just removes you from the rest of your team.
That was me.
Was it you?
I said that, yeah.
Oh my God.
That was me.
That was some late night NA DPC I watched last year.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a really smart thing.
Well, the reason that
actually really funny.
The reason that I usually think that though is because of the spear, you're isolating everybody from the spear target. But I guess in another way, it's like the Doom in that it's a disable that you can, you know, purge and it's still there.
Yeah.
Like there's no purging something that just is on the ground for a certain duration of time. Same reason why like Disruptor is good against these status resistance heroes. You can't walk out of the kinetic field even if you have high status resist. That's so funny.
That's really funny. Yeah, I remember watching. I was just like, that's a really good point. I like the way that they described it. And it was you. You all along.
The one point entire.
And then I think Sunspan started talking about, you know, his bowel movements.
He did.
Yeah,
he does do that.
I looked at Dakota, and poor Dakota.
He's a disappointed person all the time.
That's not true. He's a dad. He's used to hearing about poop.
That's fair.
Just not from maybe people as old as.
Speaking of poop, no, I'm just kidding. All right, what do we got? What do we got going on here? Probably got such an early E lens, and
he's working on the Ags now, like, and the Ags is still broken. Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
Literally, like the illusions literally don't take enough damage. They take 200% when they're supposed to take 700%. Although against Tidehunter, like this is one of the theory-crafted heroes that can deal with the Bane. Aghanim Scepter. But the thing with the Bane Ags is it lowers the cooldown of your ult as well. So it's like if you're dealing with the Bane ult with a Ravage, which is a much longer cooldown ability because of the Ag Scepter, it's not actually that good. It's like a theory crafted counter, but in practice it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that because of the cooldown reduction.
I like this though, how Zai's like very much the forward person, like doing the scouting, putting himself in those risky situations. Puppy just following him around, although Mickey jumping forward, they've got the silence. Do they get off enough damage in time? That's the question. Nightmare will buy a bit more. But eventually they'll take down Puppy. And now over on the back lines, they're gonna wait patiently here for this Pup. Mickey, they'll stepping around like a big gosh here. And now they'll go use that arena, try to separate, but again, Matu, he's got the BKB up. Mickey over on the back line, dodging around. More of this gush just getting tossed out as it jump over onto Nisha. They need more damage as Boxy does get left behind, so Samel will clean up. Matu sitting a little bit low. Zai again finds himself surrounded by just all of these heroes. He's gonna try to tell him, not gonna be able to, not without remnants, so they'll end up taking down Tide.
I think Zai's blink got canceled in that fight, and he ravaged nothing. I'm fairly certain, unless there was something that was off camera that I wasn't seeing that was getting ravaged. Something canceled his blink. Because his ravage hit
Nothing.
absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Do you think he... What hit
There's
him?
nobody on the other side of him that he...
Was it a side blade, right? No.
I don't know.
Maybe he queued up something in the wrong way. I don't know. That's happened.
I think Arl was just trying to show us something, but neither of us clued into it. That's okay. I don't. It's late.
We can't even make that.
Be quiet.
Can't even say
Be quiet.
that.
He's got Daedalus on Nisha. Once again, more burst damage to take down Matumba Man. Even Zai, as like, can be absolutely bursted in these fights.
Foxy? Stun off Mickey is using that double damage. Just have to back off though. The arrow gets tossed up by the Mirana. Like, back off.
How does Liquid fight? How do they win this? I think, let's see, how close is Zai to Refresher? About little bit less than halfway there. I think with Refresh Ravage, they can maybe kill. Nisha on TA. But other than that, they're going to need to have some crazy good fight.
Oh, they're hunting Zai. Zai knows it though. Oh, the arrow from Yapsor! The step forward here coming out from Smale. The chase is on after Zai. They've got enough damage where they should be able to burst him. He's going to make him for it though. Juke it around the corner. Yule's coming into play, and they'll finish him off. And that's scary when your tankiest person on your team just gets hunted down like that. Mickey also needing to be careful. It's fairly elusive, but doesn't want to get caught. As now Puppy in the top lane. Gonna just start combing through the jungle.
I like that TP though. Is Box or is he smoked? He's smoked. Okay. So presumably putting some wards.
Oh
down.
my god! Look at the damage from Nisha in that one hit. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is a scary TA.
Very scary.
Going for a Bloodthorn too.
Foxy just throwing out the angle, just getting nightmared though, so it's gonna end up being the sacrificial lamb.
And this really is a great draft from Secret. There are some elements to it that I wasn't thinking about when we first saw it. Like the Nightmare setup, also amazing this game to set up Ether Remnant as well as Mars Spear too. So they have so many ways of catching, but they also have so many setups for each other. Like the Mirana Arrow set all of things as well.
Right into the eye. You mentioned that earlier, though. You actually did mention the fact that, because that was the big thing that the panel kept talking about, is that Ice playing that Beastmaster in the last game. He just wasn't playing close enough with his team. His team wasn't playing close enough with him. They just felt like he wasn't being aggressive enough. This time around, though, they really ensured that this Mars had, components that he could go along with the Mirana, too, right?
Yeah, they have a lot better of a lineup for 5-manning and doing team, like, pressing cool things together in team fights, for sure. Beastmaster's more of like a map hero.
Yes.
Even I'm impressed.
Yeah, these arrows are just finding everything. And they're not even intending to. They're just trying to get vision.
He's just scouting.
Yeah. Their value. Foxy jumping for it immediately. They have the dust. Turn back around. The Yules, though, coming. But look at the teleports coming out. That's a big 3-man ravage. Can they do it? The burst damage and time, though, is the question. They already take that. You have to take out Foxy, take out Puppy. Some mail next to fall. Nisha, though, does so much damage. The IO coming back in here does manage to go and heal back up, but they're going to skirt away. Okay, blinking forward, rejoining up with the Zai. It's a big burst. They got the buyback out from Yapsor.
That is absolutely how Liquid needs to win this game. So the reason that this is a good initiation is because Nisha's just not there.
Is under attack.
So they hit a 3-man Ravage. The TA is still TPing in because you have this delay TP since these other heroes TPing in front of him. So you kill these 2 heroes before TA can kill anybody. And then all of a sudden, he has to play scared. Liquid, no BKBs. They decide, all right, let's just get out. We force some buybacks. We got some really important kills. We delayed a timing. We can fight later when we have Ravage again and when we have a Refresher Orb on Zai. And so that fight, if it goes that way and he has Refresher, they just kill Nisha there as well.
You can see just how absolutely effective that TA can be when she's able to, get these hits off. Very, very, very scary. Although Nisha is in the bottom lane.
Hey, okay.
He's teleporting. He has to, right?
Is he?
Oh, the big one from Mickey! Melded up. Zai throwing out. They've got the silence, the hex. They should have plenty of damage to slay this TA. And you know what, Jenkins? That's another way they're going to win this game. If they can get pickoffs like that.
100 seconds, and Roshan is alive. So
that's big. That's very big.
Sumail is checking it. He's like, all right, maybe not such a good time to die. Let's defend this area, deward it. Luckily for Secret, Liquid doesn't have great Roche taking capabilities. Maybe if the Razor ult hit Roche, but it doesn't. They do have an HC on Razor, though, so that will help. And they do have the Gush minus armor, so maybe it is fast enough.
Well, they do manage to go and find Mickey, though, so that's a nice follow-up here. Again, with that arena from Ice. Monty, though, just zipping on through here. Gets that drain off. Then turn back around. Can they get the kill? Yes, they'll be able to find Puppy. Ice, though. He's been left behind. He doesn't have any mana left. Buyback now coming out from Mickey. They go and they use the finger. Nice spear away. The Razor, though, hunting. Nice arrow coming out from Yapsor. Buys a bit more time at the jump forward. The blink over onto Ice. The taunt pulling him back. He just cannot crawl away fast enough, as that's now 3 heroes on the side of Secret that are dead, and they can walk right into this Roche pit, and they can take all the time they want. Arrow's gonna collide over onto Matu. They finished up the refresher orb though. Zai has been an absolute menace with many of these Ravages, aside from just the one. So now he's going to have double the chances.
Yeah, Mickey dying at the start of the fight, that's not so good for Liquid, but it results in Secret kind of getting baited into like, oh, we got a pick off, like this is a good fight. And Zai was 10 seconds on Ravage there too, so he didn't even use that. They've got the Refresher and the Ravage for the next fight with an Aegis.
They've got tether stuns for Io. That one fight, I mean, honestly, let's scale back a little bit. Not that fight, but the fight before that, I feel. Around the shrine, I think is really when it started to reopen again here.
It did, yeah,
Or Liquid,
for sure.
and then they got very lucky, right? Nisha was pushing the bottom wave. Mickey just happened to realize, oh, now's the time to Dream Coil. And that just opened the door for this Roche. And now we've got some big item timings. As Liquid creeping across the river.
They can do this, they have 2 Ravages. They can
do. They see Nisha. They jump forward. Oh, Buxy. That'll be quite fast enough here. Courier, that's gonna zip away. They have forced them out of the triangle.
Yeah, Nisha saw the ward and sentry be placed there, right on the cusp of his vision.
They're gonna force this fight. Look at the way Zai's approaching. Arrow comes in. All right, they'll be able to blow up Boxy. Spear over onto Matu. Matu's just gonna back off. Have that lockdown. With the Ravage, with the Dream Coil. And they'll be able to go and hit over onto 2 with the Fiend Script coming into play here. They'll follow up with the second Ravage into the arena though, as Matu's trying to just get some of this damage off. He's got the link off, but he's taking too much. It's not looking good for him as Zai will fall. Matu coming back up in a moment here. Io trying to get over there. Oh, it's not going to be in time, and Sania is going to be the last one to fall in that fight.
Great Nightmare setup from Puppey. Also, the fact that the secondary Ravage had to be used just to interrupt the Fiend's grip. It goes back to what I was saying about the Aghanim Scepter. He doesn't have the Ags, but you're committing this really important ability for a 5 position. So he dodges the first one on Puppey, gets the grip off, which forces Zai to Ravage into Nisha's BKB. He does get Sumail, but he has to hit Puppey. And Ice, this whole time, and Nisha are just pounding away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's too much damage.
It's way too much.
Comes back, no BKB, easy burst.
And then Sania's like, oh no.
Please, mercy.
There's no mercy here. Yeah.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Don't show me that.
Sometimes all you gotta do, right? You need a moment, you breathe, you stretch, you're like, all right, that did not go the way we wanted, but Secret taking advantage of this, realizing they won one hell of a fight, are going to be able to rip down not just 1 tower in Rax, but 2.
What did I just see? He was going for a Wind Waker. Okay, Yaps are going for the Wind Waker. So that is going to be able to save whoever gets coiled, whoever gets stunned by Lion, Ravaged as well. You can also Wind Waker yourself out of Puck Coil, which, you know, presumably he's going to be saving that for his team instead.
Yeah, Mickey realizing that he has incurred a lot of targeting. He doesn't pick up the A on disc because they definitely have a lot of damage, especially coming out from the TA in combination with, you know, the arena and just everything they tag along with it. Now we have the Axe Scepter completed for the Bane. So that is completed. He'll have that for the next fight.
55-second cooldown Fiend's Grip. I mean, that is just
really good.
Just so good.
Very good, especially when your opponents have those BKBs. They want to be dodging in and out of these fights.
Yep, and it basically guarantees that if you want to interrupt those Banes from channeling, you're probably going to have to Ravage them. And once again, you're committing this long cooldown ability for a short cooldown one. Zai does have 2 Ravages, so that helps. I think in the Ravages, Zai needs to hit... You need to hit and kill Nisha in the Ravages. Otherwise, Nisha is just going to come back and just 2-shot you. But he's got the Aesthetics cap. So that's actually a really good pickup from Nisha. It's going to protect him from the Ravage, let him get his BKB off. It's like a poor man's Eon Disc.
Movement around the pit here. You can see Nisha's very forward. Zai standing up over on the eye spot. He's got a gem on him. He's got the blink and refresher. Feels like they want to try to go in for some sort of invasion, but the way that Liquid is dancing around making it difficult for them to find the opening, but they're persistent on the side of Secret. They're going to start throwing their bodies forward. They do have that Moonlight Shadow. You've got the spider legs on Zai. Boxy jumping forward. They get a little bit of that jump off, but look at the damage now coming up from Nisha. So they have the feed script. There it is, holding on Martha's up to the goal. They use the Ravage. They've already managed to kill Boxy and Insania. Insania going to have to fight back now and try to join right back into the fight. He's got that Ghost Scepter. He's trying to run away from Nisha. Nisha's doing so much physical damage. Samel, though, looking for this opening, trying to chase after him. Does have the Yules in place. Follow up. The arrow's just a little bit too early, but they do get the taunt, so they'll end up losing Insania. He did fight back for this.
Tower is under attack.
And they'll put some pressure on this tower, but they don't have a creep wave.
Yeah, McKay just walked away from that fight. He's like, they don't have creeps. This is not looking good. I'm just going to go clear this bot area. Once again, creeps are a huge problem for the losing team in this case. But the burst from Nisha is just insane. Like, if anybody gets locked down, he has enough damage to kill them. Doesn't matter who it is.
You have this Bane with the axe. It's so hard. And Puppy's positioning has been so good in these fights. Like, he's so, like, it's almost already up again. They just had a fight.
It's off cooldown.
Evelyn picked up now here for some mailboxy, popping that Lincoln's here. Nisha again jumping for, oh, all right. That's not supposed to happen.
That feels bad.
More gushes coming out the top though, over onto Mickey. They've got the spear, they've got the arrow, they've got the damage. There is no puck available now for 120 something seconds. They're just leaving Zai to take a nap there until he wakes up. And there's a big, you know, it's a different type of nightmare, but that is not the way that you want to be handled as a Tidehunter who had